Hello from Bugeye guys. This is a project Bugeye called Fritz, and I wanted to make you a short video and show you a little bit more about what it would take to restore this tub and hopefully find a new buyer who wants to take this on and get this car back on the road, because it's a car with a lot of potential. It's a particularly good foundation. Most of the cars don't come to us this way. When they need a complete restoration, they usually need a whole lot more work. So in this video, I'm going to show you a couple of its problem areas and a couple of its great areas, and hopefully everyone out there who is looking at restoring a Sprite will learn from it. So we'll dive right into, here's the spring box area. This is the front side. So right in the middle of your screen where those 4 bolts are, that gusset is where the spring plugs in on the back. It plugs into that area and anchors into this longitudinal stringer. So this is a chronic area of weakness and a chronic area of rust. And on this side, you see it's quite good. On the outboard side, where that little, see if I can point it out to you. Right where that hole is, that's a seat bolt mounting hole. So that's not something you need to be concerned with. And then on this side, what it looks like is that somebody replaced this floor pan, the black shiny metal. So this was already worked on once and they seam sealed it. You might need to cut this whole thing out and start over. It will depend a lot on who restores this car and how they want to do it. This is a very solid piece of metal all around here, but all this goop, it's not really done at the level that perhaps it could be. I have a feeling this needs to be removed and we start over with this area, but these pans are available, not a huge deal. Here we have probably the worst area of rust through on the whole car, and it's pretty minor. I've outlined it with chalk. This is the jacking cross member, the jack hole being right here. We don't encourage people to use those because it's too easy to scratch or damage the rocker panel, especially once it's painted. But this cross member is a potential rust area, and so a pretty small patch would fix this. And the good news is there's usually a lot of oil in the tunnel here that keeps this area from rusting. As the drive shaft slings oil and as the transmission leaks, you tend to have oil in this area inside the tunnel, so that preserves this. The cross member here, though, needs to be fixed. And then up front in the floor pans, these are chronically rusted, the footwells. Generally, water will collect under the dash in here and rust these out. This one's not horrible, but there are a bunch of pinholes that I've marked. Initially, I thought maybe a small patch would do it. You might make a bigger patch. You might also cut the whole perimeter and weld in a new floor pan up here. It's really not horrible, but again, that will depend a lot on who ends up with the car, how far they go. So we really have one area, 2 areas, a third area that perhaps could be improved. And then up here, we've got a couple more little sections, but pretty insignificant as these things generally go. This gusset here that supports the back of the car has some perforation, so you'll need a patch in this area. And then there's just a small hole here that's pretty easy to fix. You could just weld that shut. And then we have some rust through here as well, but not too bad. So it's pretty impressive to me. Most of the time you'll see major dents in the back all through there. Looks like there was one repair along the bottom there that somebody did previously, but the contour of the back deck is excellent, and that's something we don't see all that often on a car that needs a total restoration. We also have a really nice, it's dirty, but this is a very fair curve. It hasn't been sat on. They didn't have sheets of plywood stored on the back deck, so the whole back deck is in nice shape. And also back here, these tend to get hit in the rear bumper area, so you'll often see horribly wavy seams all through here, and we don't have that problem. The taillight structure is all in excellent shape, so this car has that going for it. And then the beading as well is really also quite nice. We don't have a bunch of extra perforations. These are the correct twist fitting and 10x fitting holes. So all that's in nice shape as well. And that's one reason why I like this car so much. it's not all messed up. Also, here we have a little bit of old body work here that would need to be stripped off, but it's stable and solid. And here too is evidence of an old repair. So this might need some attention, but it's, again, pretty good as these things go. In fact, this would be a new rocker panel repair from somebody else. Those are not the factory welds. But the good news is that it's pretty solid. We have also a little bit of blistering here, and again, I think that's from an old repair. So this car was worked on by somebody at some point. They did a little bit of work here too. And this door is also in good shape. The body lines are not bad. The cowl and the nose fit are also in pretty nice shape. And then the nose in any of these projects can often be the lion's share of the work that needs to be done. There was one old repair here, but it's really a very nice nose. A lot of times when we see these cars in this condition, all this is smashed. All this is smashed. The whole underside is rotted away. And we don't have any of those issues. The other nice thing is, just like on the back deck, this contour is quite nice on this nose. So it's a big project. Obviously there's a lot of work to do here, but if you want to start with a complete restoration of a Bugeye, this is a really attractive one to start with because it's already in reasonably good shape as a starting point. Again, these A-pillars are chronically rusted. This one has some rust bleed through, so you'll want to grind into this and see what's there. And this is, of course, a chronic area for repair. Somebody's started that process, but you might need to cut this out and weld in a new patch. Anyway, that's the Bugeye we call Fritz, ready for somebody to restore. You can put the power plant of your dreams in here. We have a 948 engine and smooth case transmission to go with it. And that's what we have this week at Bugeye Guys.